Welcome to Java. Thank you kindly for joining me. It's November 20th, 2024, and it is Wednesday. That means it is also typically Discord Day, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time after the market closes, and then after Greg's live stream. Now, my apologies in advance. I don't think I'll be able to make it near a connection at that time, so it's not likely that I will be in there. I will still try to make it so. With that, I'm going to leave that with the brilliant people that are in there. It's an amazing community. If you would like to come join in, you're welcome to. I will try to leave a link in the description for any of those that would like to join. A couple have asked me, and I have not had the opportunity to create that link and get it to you, so I will try to do that today, or leave it again, a request in the comments, and then hopefully one of my mods or I'll be able to get that to you today. So with that, there's a lot going on this morning. I know it's still pre-market over in New York. So with this, we've got quite a few things globally to speak about that will affect all of us. So starting with our risk indicators, which I'm quite surprised about, to be honest with you. We've got a rapid rise going on with the 10-year yield right now. Now, not just the 10-year yield, but also the dollar again. So they had that temporary reprieve and pullback, but they are both rising again. Yet we've got the MMRI is 293.3. Now that's slightly higher, but I expected it to be a bit higher in reaction to this. Now we've got the two are kind of countering each other at the moment. However, this is showing increase in the risk in markets. We've still got fear greed meter is in neutral, so that hasn't changed much, which is also interesting. We'll see what happens after market open. Now, we are expecting NVIDIA earnings today. We've got the conflict that could overshadow like all of this stuff going on. As soon as more bombs start flying, other things go on that could wipe all of this out. We've also got another story happening in the background, if you will. And again, it's regarding Japan. So one of their largest banks, Norinchukin, is having serious debt issues to where they may have to restructure. So they hit that yen. That yen will hit our markets similar to what it did before. Now, we've got a few dynamics going on here aside from the 10-year yield and the dollar. Cryptocurrency skyrocketing, hit another all-time high, was at 94,000 again. And with this, a lot of the cryptocurrencies are coming up, some rotating into the altcoins as we call them, but for the most part, Bitcoin is the value and the strength moving forward. So Poland's presidential candidates now proposing Bitcoin reserve plan. This is the new political thing, seeing what happened in the United States. Now we're going to watch more politicians, if you will, globally getting into this cryptocurrency. And if they start saying about it being a reserve plan, that could really shift the scales. Very likely will hit 100,000 by the end of the year at this rate, barring something else not happening. Now, what have we got as far as the stocks? Not quite open. It's very early right now. But I think stocks are going to actually take a hit. We've got a few things moving against it. As I was saying, that 10-year yield and that dollar put pressure on stocks. So right now we've got those looking like they could have some issues. Volatility index was down and gold was up. Now we're watching in the futures. We've got the futures are showing slight green, but pretty flat still on the day. So the big one will be NVIDIA's earnings prior to the market open that we are aware of. So with this, let's go to our next one. So Wednesday calendar, we're expecting Fed Governor Lisa and Bowman, Cook and Bowman going to speak, and then also Collins. So really on the calendar, just a lot of that manipulation with what they're saying in the markets. Now, the earnings today, as I was saying, the large ones, NVIDIA is definitely on watch, but we've got a few others here as well that are very interesting. Now, the TLT, this is what has my interest. And this is the rapid outflows from TLT. Now, this is what is affecting the yield. Now, money flowing out of the bonds means that they have to raise the interest rate on it or the dividend yield in order to get people to put money into it. So massive outflows of the debt, people dumping the debt, and I suspect a good lot of this could be Japan this morning, as I was saying, and that is what is attributing to the spike in the 10-year yield we're seeing this morning. So with this, we've got a few other things going on as we were speaking about the physical conflict. Ukraine firing United States made longer range missiles. It is said that they launched 8. 2 were shot down. I don't know what happened to the other 6, but apparently they did strike Russian soil, and we're waiting to see what the retaliation or the reaction to that is. Now, we've got other things going on with this front a little bit more silently, and you'll see it in the news. But we've been speaking about the risk about this for a while now, if you've been here. The undersea internet cables. Again, these are the main lines for any secure type of communications. They almost run over these physical lines because wireless, definitely not secure. So we've got 2 were cut connecting Finland and Sweden, also Germany into Europe. So they're suspecting sabotage, but you have to be very careful about what you hear because we've got 2 conflicting right here and the pointing fingers. So that tells me that it's likely not either one. We've got Newsweek saying that it's a Chinese ship, so pointing the finger at China. And then we've got right after them Wall Street Journal pointing at Russia. So we'll see what ends up with this. But the very bottom line is that their communications, massive outages, expecting this will affect much of the daily life there. Now, along with this, we've got the ECB warning about low growth and high risk debt zone. And this is moving forward financially. So as everything looks wonderful on the surface of these economies that they are saying are doing so well, the truth is really that there is high risk and it's growing. So caution on this. Now, with this, we've also got, looking forward to this winter, Bloomberg coming out talking about the snow and ice triggering weather warnings across much of the UK. Now, we've got this also happening in the United States, several states getting freezing weather. Now, the issue they're having there is their energy costs much more than it does in the United States, and they don't have the same resources that we do. So this could really hit Europe. I've been speaking about this before. Could be a very difficult winter ahead. So we'll see what happens with this as well. Now, the last thing I would like to speak about, because I think this is very, very interesting, and this is the levels. It's a Bloomberg chart, but it's showing equity futures funding rate similar to actual future. Now, what does this mean? If we're looking at this blue line, that basically are people taking out loans in order to purchase equities or stocks. This is the same thing that happened back in 1929. Massive run-ups and people that didn't want to miss out on the booms. So they leveraged everything they could. They got out loans and purchased stocks with these. And we're showing a lot of other issued indicators, if you will. So this is really not a good sign. There's a lot of warnings in here, I know. We've got a stock market that's continuing to go up. We've got massive inflation continuing. So in my mind, the largest prop going forward and use case for the stock market going up is indeed inflation. Now, inflation hits until it stops. And the Fed cannot control deflation, super deflation, recession, whatever you choose to call it. But once it hits critical point in the lower direction, that's when it's out of control. So with all of this, we're repeating patterns again, or at least rhyming with them. So just a little caution with the trades today. NVIDIA could have quite some volatility, not just for that company, but of course across the chip sector, which will also affect technology and NASDAQ in general. So with this, I wish you all a wonderful day until I can see you again. I'll try to see you in the chat for Discord if I can end up getting a connection and being available at that time. Otherwise, until I see you again, my friends, stay free.